She was a runaway with nothing when she saw the trucker's wife cornered by thugs at a gas station. 3 days sleeping behind dumpsters should have taught her to stay invisible. Instead, she stepped between them, pretending to be family she'd never met. What she didn't know, that one act of protection would bring 4,000 truckers to shield her back, shutting down an entire highway by noon. The fluorescent lights of the Nebraska truck stop buzzed overhead as Mia Crawford splashed cold water on her face. 3 days on the road had left her exhausted, hungry, and desperate. The bathroom mirror reflected a girl who looked older than 17, dark circles under her eyes, hair tangled from sleeping behind a dumpster 2 nights ago. She'd left home with nothing but the clothes on her back and $43 stolen from her stepfather's wallet. It wasn't enough. Nothing would ever be enough to make up for what he'd tried to force her into. Mia dried her face with rough paper towels and headed toward the convenience store section. Maybe she could afford a granola bar and a bottle of water. That would have to last until she figured out her next move. The store was crowded with truckers grabbing coffee and road snacks. Mia kept her head down, avoiding eye contact. Running away meant staying invisible. Then she heard the voice. "I already told you, I don't have any cash on me." Mia glanced up. Near the refrigerated section, a woman in her mid-30s stood rigid, her back against the drink coolers. She had kind eyes that were now filled with fear. 3 men surrounded her, dressed in dark jackets despite the warm morning. "That's funny," the tallest one said, his voice low and menacing. "Because your husband hauls expensive freight. Real expensive. And we know he shares his earnings with his pretty wife." The woman, her name tag read Emily, shook her head. "Ray doesn't carry cash either. Everything's digital. I can't help you." "Then maybe you can help us with his route schedule instead," another thug added, stepping closer. "When's he heading through Colorado next? We just want to have a friendly conversation with him." Mia's hands clenched. She'd seen this before, her stepfather's friends cornering people, making threats, taking what they wanted. The memory of those months trapped in that house made her stomach turn. Everyone else in the store pretended not to notice. The clerk was focused on his phone. Other customers suddenly found the potato chip aisle fascinating. Mia took a breath. She'd run away to escape this exact kind of predator. But watching someone else suffer while she did nothing? That made her just as bad as the people who'd ignored her own silent screams for help. She moved quickly before fear could stop her. "Aunt Emily!" Mia called out loudly, walking straight toward the group. "There you are. Uncle Ray is looking everywhere for you." Emily's eyes widened in confusion, but Mia kept going, pushing between 2 of the thugs to grab Emily's arm. "Sorry I took so long in the bathroom," Mia continued, her voice bright and casual. "Uncle Ray's outside with the truck. He said to hurry because we're already behind schedule." She turned to the thugs with an innocent smile. "Thanks for keeping my aunt company, but we really need to go." The tallest thug narrowed his eyes. "Your uncle, huh?" "Yeah, Ray Parker," Mia said confidently, reading Emily's name tag and gambling on the last name. "He's probably getting impatient. You know how truckers are about their schedules." Something in her tone, or maybe just the mention of Ray being nearby, made the thugs hesitate. The leader looked past Mia toward the parking lot where dozens of big rigs sat idling. "This ain't over," he muttered to Emily. "We'll be seeing you again real soon." They backed off slowly, leaving through the front entrance. Mia watched them climb into a black SUV with tinted windows and peel out of the parking lot. Emily grabbed Mia's shoulder the moment they were gone. "What just happened? Who are you?" "Nobody," Mia said quickly, trying to pull away. I saw you needed help. You probably saved my life." Emily's voice shook. "Those men, they've been following me since yesterday. They keep showing up wherever I go, asking about Ray's routes, demanding money." She studied Mia's face. "You're not really my niece. No. I'm sorry I lied. I just needed them to think. Don't apologize, Emily's grip tightened. You were brave. Incredibly brave, she glanced toward the parking lot. But those men might come back. Please, stay with me until Ray gets here. He should be arriving any minute. Mia shook her head. I should go. I don't want to cause you more trouble. You're the one who might be in trouble now, Emily said gently. They saw you defend me. They heard you claim to be family, her eyes softened with concern. Where are your parents? Are you okay? The kindness in Emily's voice nearly broke Mia's carefully maintained composure. When was the last time someone had looked at her like that, with genuine care instead of calculation? I'm fine, Mia lied. Really? I just need to. At least let me buy you breakfast, Emily insisted. It's the least I can do. Mia's stomach growled loudly, answering before she could refuse. Emily smiled sadly. Come on. Ray will want to thank you himself. And between you and me, Emily lowered her voice. Those men are dangerous. If they think you're connected to us, you need protection too. Ray knows people. He can help keep you safe. Mia wanted to refuse. She'd learned the hard way that accepting help meant owing someone, and debts always came due. But exhaustion and hunger made her judgment weak. Just until your husband gets here, Mia agreed quietly. Then I'm gone. Emily nodded, though something in her expression suggested she had no intention of letting this scared, brave girl disappear back into whatever nightmare she was running from. They moved to a booth near the window where they could watch for Ray's truck. Emily ordered them both hot food, and Mia tried not to devour it too quickly. Outside, the black SUV sat parked across the street, engine running. Watching. Waiting. 20 minutes later, a massive 18-wheeler rolled into the parking lot with "R. Parker Freight" painted across the trailer. The truck was immaculate, chrome gleaming in the morning sun, engine purring like a well-kept machine. Emily visibly relaxed. That's Ray. A man in his early 40s climbed down from the cab, moving with the careful efficiency of someone who'd spent years on the road. He wore a faded baseball cap and had the weathered face of a trucker who'd seen every highway in America. His eyes, though tired, were sharp and observant. Emily rushed to meet him at the entrance. Mia watched through the window as Emily spoke rapidly, gesturing back toward the booth. Ray's expression changed from confused to concerned to something harder, something dangerous. They came inside together. Ray slid into the booth across from Mia, studying her with an intensity that made her uncomfortable. Emily told me what you did, he said quietly. That took guts. Mia shrugged, looking down at her empty plate. Anyone would have. No, Ray interrupted firmly. They wouldn't. I've been a trucker for 20 years, and I've seen plenty of people look the other way when trouble happens. You didn't, he extended his hand. Ray Parker. And I owe you. Mia shook his hand briefly. You don't owe me anything. I'm just glad Emily's okay. Describe them, Ray said suddenly. The men who cornered my wife. Every detail you remember. Something in his tone made Mia pay attention. This wasn't casual curiosity, this was interrogation. 3 guys, Mia said. The tall one was the leader. Maybe 6'3", 200 pounds. Scar through his left eyebrow. Wore a black leather jacket with some kind of patch on the sleeve, looked like a cobra or snake. The other 2 were muscle. One had a tattoo on his neck, barbed wire pattern. The other kept his hands in his pockets the whole time, like he was holding something. Ray's jaw tightened. He pulled out his phone and scrolled through several photos before showing one to Mia. This him? Mia's breath caught. It was the tall man, same scar, same cold eyes. Yes. That's him. Who is he? Marcus Vance, Ray said grimly. He runs an extortion ring that's been targeting truckers across 6 states. They corner our families, demand route information, then hijack high-value loads. He looked at Emily. I told you to stay home this trip. I wanted to surprise you, Emily said softly. Our anniversary dinner, remember? Ray's expression softened briefly before hardening again. He reached for the CB radio clipped to his belt and stepped away from the booth, speaking in low tones. Unit 7 to Roadhouse Base. Need eyes on a black SUV, Nebraska plates Charlie Delta 739. Confirm sighting near mile marker 247, 80-inch. He paused, listening to the response. Then he added something that made Mia's skin prickle. Someone shielded one of ours. Keep eyes open. He returned to the table. You said you were leaving. Where are you headed? Anywhere but here, Mia said evasively. You're running from something, Ray observed. It wasn't a question. Mia's defenses snapped up. That's none of your business. It is now, Ray said, not unkindly. Because those men saw you. They heard you claim to be family. Marcus Vance doesn't forget faces, and he doesn't leave loose ends. The words hit Mia like ice water. She'd been so focused on helping Emily that she hadn't thought about the consequences. Now these criminals knew her face. They'd seen her interfere. What are you saying? Mia whispered. I'm saying they might come after you, Ray said bluntly. To punish you for interfering. To use you as leverage against Emily and me. Or just because they can. He leaned forward. Where are your parents? Can you go home? No, the word came out sharper than Mia intended. Emily reached across the table, touching Mia's hand gently. Honey, are you in trouble? Mia pulled away. I can take care of myself. I'm sure you can, Ray said. But Marcus Vance has resources. Money. Connections. If he decides you're a problem, he didn't finish the sentence. Mia felt trapped. She'd escaped one nightmare only to stumble into another. So what do I do? There's a shelter in Grand Island, 2 towns west, Ray said. Safe place, run by good people. I can drop you there, make sure you get inside safely. After that, Vance won't be able to find you. It was a kind offer. More than kind, it was generous. But Mia had learned that generosity always came with strings attached. Why would you do that? She asked suspiciously. Ray's expression was steady. Because you protected my wife when no one else would. In the trucking community, that means something. We take care of our own, and anyone who shields our families becomes our own. Emily nodded. Please let us help. At least until you're somewhere safe. Mia wanted to refuse. She wanted to walk away and disappear like she'd planned. But the memory of that black SUV sitting across the street, engine idling, watching. Okay, she said quietly. Just to the shelter. Ray stood. Get your things. We leave in 5 minutes. This is all I have, Mia gestured to herself. No bag, no belongings, just the clothes she'd been wearing for 3 days. Emily and Ray exchanged a look that held entire conversations. Then Emily said, Come on. Let's at least get you a jacket from the truck. It gets cold on the highway. As they headed toward the exit, Mia glanced back through the window. The black SUV was still there, watching them leave. And this time, she could see Marcus Vance sitting in the driver's seat, phone pressed to his ear, eyes locked on Ray's truck. Whatever Ray had started with that CB radio call, Mia had the sinking feeling it was about to get much bigger. The cab of Ray's truck was surprisingly comfortable. Emily sat in the passenger seat while Mia perched on the sleeper bunk behind them, wrapped in a fleece jacket that smelled like diesel and coffee. Through the massive windshield, the Nebraska highway stretched endlessly ahead. Ray drove with calm precision, checking his mirrors every few seconds. The CB radio crackled with constant chatter, truckers updating each other on traffic, weather, and road conditions. Breaker 19, this is Silverback heading eastbound on 80, a voice drawled. Got a smoky at mile 303, running radar. Keep it legal, folks. Ray clicked the receiver. Copy that, Silverback. Appreciate the heads up. They'd been driving for 30 minutes when Emily suddenly tensed. Ray. I see it, he said quietly. Mia leaned forward, peering into the side mirror. A black SUV maintained a perfect distance behind them, close enough to keep them in sight, far enough to avoid suspicion. Is that them? Mia asked, though she already knew the answer. Same vehicle from the truck stop, Ray confirmed. They've been tailing us since we merged onto the highway. Emily's hand gripped the door handle. What do they want? Information. Leverage. Maybe both. Ray's voice stayed level, but Mia could see his knuckles whitening on the steering wheel. They know Mia can identify them. They probably think we're taking her to the police. Aren't we? Mia asked. Eventually, Ray said. But if we lead them straight to a police station, they'll just disappear and come back later. These guys are patient. They'll wait weeks, months even, until they think we've forgotten. He checked the mirror again. No, we need to handle this differently. He reached for the CB radio, and this time his voice carried a weight that made even Mia sit straighter. This is Highway Protector to all units in range. Transmitting on Channel 19. I need ears on this. The casual chatter on the radio died instantly. Several voices responded with crisp acknowledgments. Ray continued, speaking in a code that sounded casual but clearly meant something specific. Got a situation eastbound on 80, approaching the county line. Package secured, but we've got a shadow, black SUV, aggressive tail. Confirm Highway Protector Protocol, Level 2-inch. The silence that followed felt heavy with meaning. Then a woman's voice crackled through. Copy, Highway Protector. Level 2 confirmed. What's the story? Civilians shielded one of ours from Marcus Vance's crew this morning, Ray said. Now the crew's following. They saw her face. She's at risk. Another pause. Then multiple voices responded almost simultaneously. Hammer here, I'm 40 miles west. Can redirect. This is Mountain Mama. I'm northbound but can swing around. ETA 90 minutes. Ironside copying. I'm close. Give me your 20-inch. Mia listened in amazement as more truckers chimed in, offering their locations and estimated arrival times. It was like Ray had activated some kind of emergency network. What's happening? She whispered to Emily. Emily turned, her earlier fear replaced with something that looked almost like pride. Highway Protector Protocol is what happens when someone protects a trucker's family. It's an old code, dates back decades. When Ray transmitted Level 2, he told every trucker in range that you put yourself in danger to help me, and now you need protection. But they don't even know me, Mia protested. Doesn't matter, Emily said simply. You're family now. Ray was still coordinating on the radio. All units, maintain casual spacing. Don't spook them yet. I'm heading to the Old Way station at mile 287. Should be there in 20 minutes. Copy that, Hammer responded. We'll be your welcoming committee. The black SUV continued following, oblivious to the trap being set. Mia watched the landscape roll past, fields giving way to scattered buildings, the highway stretching like a ribbon through America's heartland. Ray, Emily said softly, what if there are more of them? Then we'll deal with it, Ray replied. But Mia heard the edge of concern in his voice. 15 miles later, the SUV suddenly accelerated, pulling into the left lane alongside Ray's trailer. Mia could see 3 men inside now, Marcus Vance in the driver's seat, the tattooed man beside him, and someone new in the back. They matched Ray's speed exactly, keeping pace. "They're making their presence known," Ray muttered. "Trying to intimidate us." The SUV inched closer, narrowing the gap between vehicles. It was a dangerous game at highway speeds. Ray didn't flinch. He reached for the CB again. "All units, Shadow is getting aggressive. Way station in 5 miles. Confirm positions. Hammer here. I'm already at the station. Got company, Ironside rolled in 2 minutes ago. Mountain Mama 3 miles out." The SUV suddenly swerved toward Ray's truck, close enough that Emily gasped. They were trying to force Ray to brake or swerve. "Hold on," Ray said calmly, maintaining his speed and lane position with the steadiness of someone who dealt with aggressive drivers for 2 decades. The way station appeared ahead, an old, mostly abandoned facility that the state had stopped using years ago. But as Ray signaled and began to exit, Mia saw what Marcus Vance didn't. 2 massive trucks were already parked at angles across the entrance ramp, their drivers standing casually beside them, arms crossed. Both men were built like linebackers, and both watched the approaching SUV with expressions that promised trouble for anyone who tried to follow. Ray guided his truck smoothly between the 2 rigs. The moment he passed, they shifted position slightly, closing the gap. The black SUV had no choice but to continue on the highway, unable to follow without causing a collision. "Welcome to the first line of defense," Ray said quietly. "Now the real work begins." The old way station looked abandoned, cracked pavement, faded road signs, and a small building with boarded windows. But as Ray pulled his truck to a stop, Mia realized it was far from empty. 2 more trucks sat idling near the back fence. Their drivers stood in a loose circle, talking quietly. When Ray climbed down, they greeted him with nods and firm handshakes. "Appreciate you coming on short notice," Ray said. The larger of the 2 men, wearing a Hammer trucking shirt that matched his CB handle, grinned. "You called Highway Protector Level 2. That's not something we ignore." He glanced at Mia as she climbed down carefully. "This the girl who stood up to Vance's crew?" "This is Mia," Ray confirmed. "Mia, this is Hammer and Ironside. Good people." Ironside, a grizzled man with gray in his beard, studied Mia with sharp eyes. "Takes courage to stand between thugs and someone you don't know. Especially for someone so young." Mia shifted uncomfortably. "I just did what anyone should do." "But most don't," Hammer said. "That's what makes it count." Emily emerged from the truck carrying bottles of water. "They'll be back. Vance doesn't give up easily." "Let them come," Ironside said. "We bought you maybe an hour. They'll find another route to circle back, but by then we'll have more units in position." Ray pulled out a tablet, showing a map with multiple colored dots moving along highways. "This is the trucker network tracker. Every dot is someone who responded to the call. We've got 17 rigs converging on this area, with more joining every few minutes." Mia stared at the screen. "All because I helped Emily?" "All because you're one of ours now," Hammer corrected. "But also because Marcus Vance has been a problem for months. He's targeted at least 8 trucking families that we know of. 2 drivers lost their loads. One guy's daughter was followed home from school." His expression darkened. "We've been waiting for a chance to corner him with enough witnesses and evidence. Which is why we need to be smart about this," Ray said. "Vance isn't just some street thug. His operation is organized, surveillance, communication networks, connections to cargo theft rings across multiple states. Taking him down requires more than just blocking his SUV." Ironside nodded toward the road. "State police know him but can't touch him. He's slippery, always has alibis, never directly involved in the actual crimes. His crew does the dirty work while he stays clean. Until now," Emily said softly. "Mia saw him threaten me directly. She can identify him. The weight of that statement settled over Mia like a heavy blanket. She wasn't just a witness anymore, she was the key to putting these criminals away. That's why he's following, Ray said. He needs to silence Mia or discredit her before she talks to the police. I can talk to them right now, Mia offered. Get this over with. Not yet, Ray said gently. We need to do this right. If you go to the police now, Vance will lawyer up, claim mistaken identity, and be back on the streets by tomorrow. We need to catch him in the act, following you, threatening you, proving his intent. Mia's stomach churned. So I'm bait. You're protected, Hammer corrected firmly. There's a difference. A new voice crackled over Ray's CB radio, urgent and tight. Highway Protector, this is Bluebird. I'm on I-80 eastbound, and I just passed that black SUV you mentioned. They've got company, 2 more vehicles, gray sedan and a white van. Looks like they're coordinating. Ray and Ironside exchanged grim looks. They called for backup, Ironside muttered. Vance is escalating. Emily moved closer to Mia protectively. What does that mean? It means they're not just following anymore, Ray said. They're planning to intercept us. Mia felt panic rising in her chest. Maybe I should just disappear. Hitchhike somewhere far away. If I'm gone, they'll leave you all alone. They've already seen us help you, Ray interrupted. Leaving won't protect us. And it definitely won't protect you, he put a hand on her shoulder. Besides, running is what you've been doing. How's that working out? The blunt question hit harder than any accusation could have. Mia had been running for 3 days, from her stepfather, from the life he'd tried to force her into, from the fear that followed her everywhere. And she was exhausted. What was I supposed to do? She whispered. My stepfather. He tried to make me help with his illegal business. Smuggling, fraud, I don't even know all of it. When I refused, he threatened me. Said I was either with him or against him, and being against him was dangerous, her voice cracked. So I ran. Because staying meant becoming like him, and I couldn't, I won't. Emily pulled Mia into a hug, and suddenly Mia was crying, all the fear and exhaustion pouring out in harsh sobs. You did the right thing, Emily murmured. Running took incredible courage. But now I've dragged you all into my mess, Mia choked out. No, Ray said firmly. Marcus Vance dragged us into his mess when he threatened my wife. You gave us something we didn't have before, a witness who can connect him directly to criminal activity. And your testimony about your stepfather's operation? That might be connected to Vance's network too. Hammer nodded slowly. A lot of these extortion rings tie back to larger smuggling operations. If your stepfather's involved, there might be a link. The CB crackled again. Highway Protector, this is Mountain Mama. I've got eyes on 3 suspicious vehicles circling back toward your position. They're hunting. Ray looked at his team. Time to move. We head west toward Wyoming, pick up more units along the way. By tomorrow morning, we'll have enough truckers to create a shield they can't break through. And then? Mia asked. Then we end this, Ray said. Together. The sun rose over Wyoming's plains like a promise, painting the endless highway in shades of gold and amber. Mia hadn't slept much. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Marcus Vance's cold stare through the SUV window. They'd driven through the night, switching highways 3 times to avoid Vance's vehicles. But each time they thought they'd lost the tail, another suspicious car would appear in the mirrors. The hunters were persistent. Ray had been on the CB radio almost constantly, coordinating with an ever-growing network of truckers. The casual code language he'd used yesterday was gone, replaced by direct, urgent communication. Now, as dawn broke, he transmitted a message that made everyone in the cab sit straighter. All units, all channels. This is Highway Protector, Ray Parker. Escalating to full rolling shield protocol. Repeat, full rolling shield needed. The response was immediate and overwhelming. The CB erupted with voices from across multiple states. Copy, Highway Protector. This is Denver Hub. We're mobilizing every available rig. Montana Division hearing you loud and clear. Diverting routes now. Kansas City standing by. What's your 20? Mia listened in disbelief as dozens, then hundreds of truckers acknowledged the call. Emily squeezed her hand, seeing the overwhelmed expression on the girl's face. Full rolling shield hasn't been called in almost 20 years, Emily explained softly. It means someone who protected our family is now in serious danger, and we need every available truck to help. But why would they all come? Mia asked. They don't know me. They're losing money, delaying deliveries. Because that's what family does, Emily said simply. And because every single trucker out there knows that one day, it might be their wife or kid who needs protection. So when the call comes, you answer. Always. Ray finished coordinating positions and set down the radio. His face was drawn with exhaustion, but his eyes held fierce determination. We've got trucks converging from 7 states. Current count is around 2,000, with more joining every hour. 2,000? Mia breathed. By noon, we're estimating close to 4,000, Ray said. They're all heading to a 40-mile stretch of I-80 in Wyoming. That's where we make our stand. Hammer's voice crackled through the radio. Highway Protector, be advised, surveillance cameras caught Vance's crew at a rest stop 20 miles behind you. They've got at least 6 vehicles now. They're organizing something big. Let them organize, Ray said grimly. So are we. The morning stretched on, and the highway began to fill with big rigs. Mia watched through the windshield as truck after truck merged onto I-80, forming a growing convoy. Some had traveled through the night from as far as Texas and Montana. Others had abandoned delivery schedules, costing themselves thousands of dollars. All for a runaway girl they'd never met. Around mid-morning, Mia couldn't take it anymore. When Ray pulled into a rest stop to refuel, she climbed down from the cab and started walking toward the exit ramp. She'd caused enough trouble. These people had lives, jobs, families of their own. She couldn't let them sacrifice everything for her. Where are you going? Emily's voice stopped her after a dozen steps. Anywhere else, Mia said, not turning around. This is insane, Emily. Thousands of people are dropping everything because I got involved in something I should have walked away from. I'm not worth this. Emily caught up to her, stepping into her path. Do you know what I saw yesterday morning at that gas station? Mia shook her head. I saw a scared young woman who was clearly running from something terrible. You were exhausted, probably hungry, definitely alone. You had every reason to keep your head down and stay invisible. Emily's voice grew stronger. But when you saw someone else in danger, you didn't hesitate. You stepped between me and 3 dangerous men, knowing they might hurt you. You protected a complete stranger. That's different. It's not, Emily interrupted. You chose us first, Mia. Before we knew your name, before we knew your story, you chose to shield our family. And out here, on these highways, that choice means something sacred. Tears burned Mia's eyes. I just did what anyone should do. Exactly, Emily said gently. And now we're doing what we should do, protecting someone who protected us. This isn't charity, sweetheart. This is justice. This is family. She cupped Mia's face with both hands. Family isn't always blood. Sometimes it's chosen. And you chose us when you called me Aunt Emily and lied to save my life. So now we choose you back. Mia's carefully constructed walls crumbled. She'd spent 3 days believing she was alone, that running meant facing the world with no one at her back. But here was Emily, and Ray, and thousands of truckers she'd never meet, all saying the same thing: "You're not alone anymore." "I don't know how to do this," Mia whispered. "I don't know how to let people help me." "Then learn," Emily said, pulling her into a hug. "Because we're not going anywhere. And neither are you." Ray approached, holding 2 cups of coffee. "Crisis averted?" "She was trying to leave," Emily said. "I know. I saw." Ray handed Mia a cup. "But here's the thing, kid, you're stuck with us now. Vance has your face, your description, probably has people trying to figure out your real identity. Running won't save you. But 4,000 trucks creating the biggest blockade in highway history? That might." Mia took a shaky sip of coffee. "When you say blockade." "You'll see," Ray said, checking his watch. "We've got 2 hours until noon. By then, every trucker who answered the call will be in position on I-80." And he smiled, though it didn't reach his tired eyes. "Vance wanted to hunt you? Well, now he's about to learn what happens when you threaten someone the American trucking community has decided to protect." "Come on," Emily said, guiding Mia back toward the truck. "You're going to want a front row seat for what happens next." By 11:30, the Wyoming stretch of Interstate 80 had transformed into something unprecedented. Mia stared through the windshield in absolute awe. Trucks. Thousands of them. They lined the highway in both directions as far as she could see, a metal river of 18-wheelers stretching across the horizon. Flatbeds, tankers, refrigerated haulers, car carriers, every type of rig imaginable. They rolled in perfect coordination, filling every lane, blocking every exit. 4,163 trucks, Ray said, reading from his tablet. That's the current count. Still more coming. The CB radio had become a symphony of voices, truckers checking positions and coordinating movements with military precision. Sector 7 locked. No gaps. Northbound exits covered. They're not getting through here. This is Silverback at mile 312. We've got the overpass secured. Mia watched as trucks deliberately slowed, creating a rolling barricade that moved at exactly 45 miles per hour. Behind them, regular traffic had backed up for miles, but most drivers seemed to understand something extraordinary was happening. Several people were filming from their cars. "Traffic cameras are going crazy," Hammer reported over the radio. "State police are getting calls about the massive backup. News helicopters are launching." "Let them film," Ray said. "We want witnesses for what happens next." Emily pointed ahead. "Ray, look." 6 vehicles were attempting to navigate through the wall of trucks: the black SUV, 2 sedans, a white van, and 2 pickup trucks. Marcus Vance's expanded crew. They weaved between lanes, trying to find gaps that didn't exist. "All units, targets are attempting to breach the shield at mile 295, Ray transmitted. "Tighten formation. Box them in." The response was immediate. Trucks shifted with practiced coordination, closing every possible opening. When the black SUV tried to squeeze between 2 rigs, they moved closer together. When one sedan attempted to use the shoulder, a massive truck smoothly drifted right, blocking the path without aggression, just an immovable presence. Mia watched Marcus Vance's SUV through the side mirror. She could see his frustration mounting as every escape route closed. He accelerated, trying to push ahead, but 3 trucks in front formed a perfect wall, matching his speed exactly. "They're trapped," Emily breathed. "Not yet," Ray said. "We need them contained completely before the police arrive. No exits, no turnoffs, nowhere to run." The convoy continued its slow, inexorable advance. Vance's vehicles tried desperately to break free, but for every move they made, a dozen trucks countered with patient, methodical precision. It was like watching a chess match played with 40-ton pieces. "Sector 3, we've got 1 sedan trying to double back," a voice reported. Already on it, another trucker responded. Close the gap behind them. They're boxed. A news helicopter appeared overhead, camera undoubtedly recording the surreal scene, miles of trucks moving in perfect synchronization, 6 vehicles trapped helplessly in the middle like prey surrounded by enormous predators. Mia's phone, which she'd kept turned off to avoid her stepfather tracking her, suddenly buzzed. Emily had insisted she turn it on to record what was happening. A text notification appeared from an unknown number. You made a big mistake, girl. This won't protect you forever. Her hands shook. He's texting me. How did he get my number? Ray glanced at the message, his jaw tightening. He's scared. That's a good sign. Screenshot it, that's evidence of harassment and intimidation. Another text arrived. Tell the truckers to back off or people get hurt. He's threatening violence now, Emily said. Ray, we need to move fast. Already done, Ray said, forwarding the screenshots to multiple contacts. State police have units converging on our location. ETA 7 minutes. The trucks began to slow even further, bringing the entire convoy down to 30 miles per hour. The vehicles trapped in the middle had nowhere to go, trucks surrounded them on all sides, front and back, maintaining perfect spacing. Marcus Vance laid on his horn, a futile gesture of rage against thousands of engines that didn't care. This is incredible, Mia whispered. She'd spent 3 days feeling powerless, hunted, alone. Now she sat protected by an army of strangers who decided she mattered. I still can't believe they all came. You saved one of ours, Ray said simply. Out here, that's everything. The CB erupted with a new voice, official, authoritative. This is Wyoming State Police to all trucking units. We have visual confirmation of your position. Multiple patrol units approaching from north and south. Maintain current formation. Copy that, State Police, Ray responded. Suspects are contained at mile 295, center of convoy. We have documented evidence of threats, harassment, and attempted assault. Multiple witnesses available. Understood. Units will extract suspects from convoy. Keep those trucks steady. Mia could see the first police cars now, light bars flashing as they wove carefully through the edges of the truck formation. 6 cars, then 10, then 15. The state police weren't taking chances. The trucks began to separate slightly, creating a channel just wide enough for patrol cars to reach Vance's trapped vehicles. But the outer wall remained solid, there would be no escape. Marcus Vance tried one last desperate move, attempting to ram through a gap between 2 trucks. But the truckers anticipated it, closing ranks so smoothly that his SUV bounced harmlessly off a trailer's reinforced bumper. End of the line, Ray muttered. Police cars surrounded Vance's vehicles, officers emerging with weapons drawn. Through the mirrors, Mia watched as Marcus Vance was pulled from the SUV, his expression twisted with fury and disbelief. One by one, his crew members were extracted and handcuffed, 11 people total, more than anyone had anticipated. A female state trooper approached Ray's truck. He rolled down the window. Ray Parker, she asked. Yes, ma'am. We're going to need statements from everyone involved. And, she glanced back at Mia, we're especially interested in speaking with the young woman who witnessed the initial incident. Mia took a deep breath and climbed down from the cab. It was time to stop running and start fighting back. The center of the blockade had transformed into a makeshift command center. Police vehicles formed a perimeter around Vance's captured crew, while helicopters circled overhead broadcasting live footage to news stations across the country. Mia stood with Ray and Emily near the lead patrol car, watching as officers processed the arrested men. Her heart pounded, but Emily's steady hand on her shoulder kept her grounded. Miss, I'm Detective Sarah Chen with the Wyoming State Police, a woman in plainclothes approached, showing her badge. I understand you witnessed the initial incident in Nebraska? Yes, Mia said, her voice stronger than she expected. I saw 3 of these men corner Emily Parker at a gas station. They threatened her, demanded money and information about her husband's freight routes. Detective Chen pulled out a tablet displaying mugshots. Can you identify them? Mia pointed immediately. That's Marcus Vance, the leader. He was threatening Emily directly. That one with the neck tattoo was there too. And him, the one with barbed wire inked on his neck. You're certain? Absolutely. I was standing 5 feet away when I interrupted them. Detective Chen made notes. And they saw you defend Mrs. Parker? Yes. I pretended to be her niece to scare them off. They heard me, saw my face. Mia pulled out her phone, showing the threatening texts. Then this morning, he sent me these. I don't know how he got my number. The detective's expression hardened as she read the messages. This is direct evidence of witness intimidation. Combined with the convoy footage showing them pursuing you, she looked up. Miss, this is exactly what we've needed to build a solid case against Vance's operation. A commotion erupted near one of the patrol cars. Marcus Vance was shouting, his voice carrying across the highway. This is illegal detention. You've got nothing on me. I was just driving on a public highway. These truckers are the ones breaking the law. Detective Chen walked toward him, Mia following despite her nerves. Ray stayed close, protective. Mr. Vance, Chen said calmly, we have multiple counts of stalking, witness intimidation, harassment, and conspiracy to commit assault. We also have 17 different truckers with dashcam footage showing your vehicles pursuing and attempting to intercept Mr. Parker's truck over 100 miles. I wasn't pursuing anyone, Vance snarled. I was just sending threatening text messages to a minor. Chen held up Mia's phone. Messages we can trace directly to your device? Vance's eyes found Mia, and the rage in them made her step back. You stupid girl. You have no idea what you've done. Actually, a new voice interrupted, she's done exactly what she needed to do. A man in a federal jacket approached, FBI, according to the letters emblazoned on his chest. Agent Marcus Torres. I've been investigating Vance's organization for 8 months, he nodded to Mia. Your testimony just gave us the direct witness account we've been missing. Vance's face went pale. We know about the extortion ring, Torres continued. We know about the cargo theft operation spanning 6 states. We know about your connections to larger smuggling networks. He pulled out his own tablet, showing a complex web of names and photos. And thanks to Miss Crawford's initial statement about her stepfather's illegal activities, we've connected several dots we couldn't before. Mia blinked. My stepfather? Daniel Crawford, correct? Torres showed her a photo. He's been on our radar for freight fraud and smuggling. When Detective Chen forwarded your description of his operation, we cross-referenced it with Vance's network. He pointed to the chart where 2 lines connected. They've been working together for at least 18 months. The revelation hit Mia like a physical blow. Her stepfather wasn't just a small-time criminal, he was part of this whole operation. And she'd stumbled into the middle of it by pure chance. So when I ran away, she started. You inadvertently became a threat to their entire operation, Torres finished. Your stepfather likely informed Vance that you'd fled. When you appeared at that gas station defending Mrs. Parker, Vance realized you could connect him to your stepfather's crimes. Emily's hand tightened on Mia's shoulder. She was in danger this whole time. Significant danger, Torres confirmed. Which is why this blockade, while unconventional, probably saved her life. He looked at the sea of trucks still surrounding them. I've never seen anything like this. Highway Protector Protocol, Ray explained. Old tradition. Someone shields our family, we shield them back. Well, your protocol just helped us arrest 11 members of a major criminal organization, Torres said. We found evidence in their vehicles, route schedules, surveillance photos of truckers' families, equipment for hijacking loads. This will take down their entire operation. One of the officers approached, holding an evidence bag. Detective, we found this in Vance's vehicle. Inside was a handgun and a folder thick with documents. Chen flipped through them, her expression growing grimmer. These are detailed files on at least 30 trucking families. Photos, addresses, school schedules for their children. Ray's face went hard. He was targeting kids. Building leverage, Torres said. Classic organized crime tactic. Threaten the family, control the trucker. Mia felt sick. If she hadn't stepped in yesterday, Emily might have become just another file in that folder. And Ray would have been forced to choose between his wife's safety and his livelihood. What happens now? Mia asked quietly. Now we process evidence, take statements, and build an airtight case, Chen said. Vance and his crew will face federal charges. Your stepfather will be arrested by day's end. She met Mia's eyes with respect. And you, Miss Crawford, just became our star witness in one of the biggest interstate crime busts this region has seen in years. Vance was being loaded into a patrol car, still shouting threats that nobody listened to. His crew members looked defeated, realizing they'd been caught in an inescapable trap orchestrated by thousands of truckers who decided one teenage girl was worth protecting. A trucker Mia didn't recognize approached, an older man with kind eyes. You protected one of ours, he said simply. Now we protect you. That's how this works. Mia nodded, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. The highway blockade had worked. Justice was served. And for the first time in 3 days, Mia felt truly safe. The next morning, Mia woke to the sound of truck engines rumbling outside and the smell of fresh coffee. For a moment, she forgot where she was, then the events of the past 3 days came rushing back. She was in a small room at the Haven lot, a guarded facility that served as a safe space for trucking families. Emily had explained it last night, a place where drivers and their loved ones could rest without fear, protected by the community that lived on America's highways. Mia dressed in clothes Emily had bought her yesterday, the first new thing she'd owned in months, and stepped outside. The Haven lot was nothing like she'd expected. Instead of a grim shelter, it looked like a small village. Dozens of trucks were parked in organized rows, families gathered around picnic tables, children playing in a fenced yard. A community center sat at the heart of it all, and through its windows, Mia could see people sharing breakfast. Ray stood near his truck, talking with a group of drivers. When he saw Mia, he waved her over. Morning, kid. Sleep okay? Better than I have in weeks, Mia admitted. One of the other truckers, a woman with gray streaking through her dark hair, smiled warmly. You're the girl from the blockade. The news is calling it the Great Highway Shield. Videos have gone viral, over 20 million views. Mia felt her face flush. I didn't mean to cause such a big thing. You didn't cause it, the woman said. You inspired it. There's a difference, she extended her hand. I'm Patricia. Drove 11 hours from Colorado when I heard the call. Worth every mile. More truckers approached, introducing themselves, thanking her for protecting Emily. Each one treated her with a respect that felt undeserved but genuine. These weren't strangers anymore, they were family, bound by the code of the road. Emily emerged from the community center carrying a tray of food. Come on, you need to eat. Big day ahead. Inside, the center was warm and welcoming. Families filled the tables, and several people greeted Mia by name. News coverage played on a mounted TV, showing aerial footage of yesterday's blockade with commentary from amazed reporters. Authorities confirmed that the coordinated effort by over 4,000 truckers led to the arrest of 11 members of an interstate crime ring, the anchor reported. The FBI credits a 17-year-old witness, whose identity is being protected, with providing crucial testimony. Mia watched Marcus Vance's mugshot flash on screen, followed by her stepfather's. Seeing Daniel Crawford's face made her stomach clench, but the fear that usually accompanied it was different now, smaller, manageable. "He can't hurt you anymore," Emily said softly, reading her expression. "Agent Torres confirmed it this morning. Your stepfather is in federal custody. His entire operation is being dismantled." "What about me?" Mia asked. "Where do I go after this?" Ray set down his coffee. "That's what we wanted to talk to you about. Emily and I spoke with social services yesterday. Given the circumstances, your stepfather's arrest, your mother's absence, your age, you have some options. The state can place you with a foster family," Emily continued. "Or," she glanced at Ray, who nodded encouragingly, "you could stay with us. Temporarily at first, while the paperwork processes. But if it works out, maybe longer term." Mia stared at them. "You want me to live with you?" "We've got space," Ray said. "The house is small, but it's safe and it's yours if you want it. You'd have your own room, time to finish school, stability." His voice softened. "Look, we're not trying to replace your family or fix everything overnight. But you saved Emily's life, and you've proven you're brave and decent. Those are qualities worth nurturing. Besides," Emily added with a gentle smile, "I've always wanted a daughter. And you could use a mom who actually protects you instead of abandoning you." The words broke something open in Mia's chest, a wall she'd built to protect herself from hope. Tears spilled down her cheeks before she could stop them. "I don't know how to be part of a family," she whispered. "I don't know if I'll be good at it." "Neither do we," Emily said honestly, pulling her into a hug. "We've never raised a teenager before. But we'll figure it out together. That's what families do." An older trucker approached their table, the same man who'd spoken to Mia yesterday. He set down an envelope. "This is from the community. We took up a collection." Ray opened it, and Mia glimpsed a thick stack of checks and cash. "This is over $40,000. For Mia's schooling, therapy, whatever she needs," the trucker said. "She protected one of ours. Now we protect her future." He looked directly at Mia. "You're not alone in this world, young lady. You've got 4,000 truckers who'll be checking on you, making sure you're okay, helping however we can. That's the promise of the Highway Protector Protocol." Mia couldn't speak. The generosity, the kindness, the sheer impossibility that strangers would care this much, it overwhelmed every defense she'd ever built. "Thank you," she finally managed. "All of you. I don't know how to repay." "You already did," Ray interrupted gently. "You stood up when it mattered. You protected someone who needed help. That's all the payment we need." Emily squeezed her hand. "So what do you say? Want to give this family thing a try?" Mia looked around the community center, at the truckers who'd risked everything for her, at Ray and Emily who'd opened their hearts, at the life being offered to her like an unexpected gift. For 3 days, she'd been running from danger, from fear, from a future that seemed hopeless. But standing at that gas station, choosing to defend Emily instead of staying invisible, had changed everything. It had led her to this moment, to these people, to a chance at something she'd stopped believing in. A real home. A real family. "Yes," Mia said, her voice steady despite the tears. "I want to try." Emily pulled her close, and Ray wrapped his arms around both of them. Through the window, Mia could see the rows of trucks, her protectors, her family, her new beginning. She'd started this journey as a runaway with nothing. Now she had everything that mattered. The highway stretched endlessly beyond the Haven lot, full of unknown destinations and uncertain futures. But for the first time in her life, Mia wasn't afraid of where the road might lead. She had family riding beside her now.